everyone was pretty like level-headed, pretty good like moods, pretty good environment. No one was too nervous. Obviously, it's normal to be nervous. Um, I had some conversations with Topun about what could help him because he gets nervous on stage, but I think everyone wasn't too nervous, so yeah, it was fine.
Hi everyone, this is Tom reporting from Worlds 2020, and I have with me here the jungler of Legacy. It's Babip. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing good.
Yeah, congratulations on an impressive performance, I have to say, on this day at Worlds. And I want to start actually by dialing back how you went into this day, because I think when many people think of Oceania, not many people think of it as, oh wow, this is definitely a region that can contest with the best. But that's what you did.
Yep.
And how was your mindset heading into today?
Obviously we had an underdog mindset. I think just because it's best of one, I feel like obviously underdogs can win. And I mean, we came in like, not expecting much, but after the first two wins, we were extremely excited about playing a tiebreaker for first and getting out of groups.
Yeah.
So that was very exciting. Didn't happen though, unfortunately.
I mean, you still put yourselves on the map definitely with that performance, and this playoffs, this play-ins overall has been very chaotic. I think in terms of results, we saw in Group B as well yesterday that there were quite some upsets. And in such an environment, do you think that's where an underdog can thrive because they can throw these curveballs to these top teams?
Definitely in like best of one. I mean, best of five is probably a lot harder for an underdog team because there's more to figure out. And as the tournament went on, I think that I feel like teams like TL kind of did figure us out in draft. So yeah, I mean in best of one, obviously underdog. I mean in speed. TL. So honestly, like anything can happen. I don't think it's not. I mean, obviously, it's nice that we won so many games, but it's honestly not anything too crazy. It's just best of one.
I mean,
I'm still super happy about it though. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But you're being very level-headed about it because even you can say best of one, but there are scenarios where some teams will just win everything because there's just such a skill disparity.
Yeah.
But it's cool to see
that. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and but it's also cool to see that it seems like all the play-in regions have leveled up their play overall. And is that something that you've experienced as well? Because what some people may not realize, you were at last Worlds as well with Mehmet, and you played in the play-in stage as well. Unfortunately, didn't make it out of there. You have a good shot at making it out this year. So compared to last year, how do you think the level of play is among the teams?
I mean, like both years, I'm losing to NA. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe NA just count as OS, but nah. I definitely feel like it's easier to level up the play because I feel like the game isn't evolving as fast. So it gives minor regions kind of time to catch up in terms of like, how the game is supposed to be played at a high level. And I think that probably has most to do with it. I think the fact that there's more opportunity now to get picked up to a major region team as a lot of Oceanic players got imported. So maybe that has something to do with it. People are sort of wanting to show how how good they are individually, and I guess that's pretty much all I have to say about it.
Yeah. Now, if you look at individual teams, obviously you don't play at against all the regions every year. But do you keep an eye on other minor regions as well because you know that you're gonna meet them in the plains throughout the year? Is that something you just keep an eye on or stay in touch with?
I mean, we definitely like know of like who the strongest teams are in the minor regions coming into Worlds. I wouldn't say I keep an eye on them for the entire year.
Right.
I'll mostly just put my time towards watching like the LEC or LPL, LCK. So yeah.
Right. And because that's what I'm wondering. When you ultimately head into this tournament, like which teams did you think of the minor region? Because I think most people would expect the major regions to perform well, I suppose. Which teams of the minor region did you think that would show up?
We thought the PCS would show up. Um, we felt like, I mean, honestly, I had no real expectations. Like when we saw the groups, I really didn't know until we started scrimming teams what
Mm-hmm.
who was strong and who wasn't strong. And I feel like every team that we actually scrimmed, like every team could take games off each other. So it was just very interesting
Yeah.
because the level of play was very, it was very like, it was very similar. So, I mean, that just makes for like good viewing, I suppose, because, you know, it's literally like either team can take it. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And did you, when you gave yourself the odds, heading into this tournament, how likely would you have made it that you would be contesting for top one spot in your group?
I would think that that thought probably wouldn't have crossed my mind, to be honest. Yeah, obviously, yeah. I mean, when we made this roster, it wasn't really like, all right, who's the five? Who's obviously we got the five best players in Oceania. Like obviously we built, but it wasn't like, okay, are these players gonna exceed to like playing super like to yeah to do really well at Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's just it's a bit surreal. Yeah, how we've performed.
Yeah, now let's talk a bit more about today specifically, because obviously it was an incredibly hectic day with a lot of pressure on your shoulders and also for the rest of your
Yeah.
teammates. Do you help your teammate because you've been at Worlds before? Are you of any assistance to them when it comes to preparing for such an international day with such a lot of pressure on it?
I feel like I didn't really need to. I feel like everyone was much more mature than I expected, especially like our rookies. Or I mean, we only one rookie, so I
Mm-hmm.
guess yeah. I mean, everyone was pretty like level-headed, pretty good like moods, pretty good environment. No one was too nervous. Obviously, it's normal to be nervous. Um, I had some conversations with Topun about what could help him because he gets nervous on stage, but I think everyone wasn't too nervous, so yeah, it was fine.
That was fine. And then as the day progressed, obviously racking up these wins must have given a lot of energy. But it's, I guess, important to also stay level-headed, especially for that final match.
Yeah,
Was that something you found difficult to do, or maybe your teammates? Because I know, for example, that when in the LEC, which is the region I mainly cover, when rookies get
yeah,
going, they can get carried away a bit.
yeah.
In series. So how is that for your team?
Um, so after we beat Supermassive, I personally was feeling like quite like exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause there were two very like high intense games. Obviously, every game is of high intensity. I mean, our only rookie on the roster is Isles Jonah,
Yeah.
and yeah. I mean, he's not really the type to get too hyped. I mean, he's not the type to waste all his energy, like going crazy. So I guess I don't know. I mean, we're as a team, like I don't feel like we were going crazy about winning. Obviously, we were super like happy straight after, but we did sort of be like, okay, guys, we have more games to play. We can actually come first. Like, let's like save our energy. I guess yeah, we kind of did do that like as a group. I'm
Right.
just too
Yeah.
excited to sort of like have. We were too excited for our exhaustion to even matter.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, yeah, we were tired, but
Right.
yeah, it
Now,
was
now,
just
as the
we were too.
yeah, yeah, makes sense. Now, a final question to wrap up the interview. You're as the number two seed. You're waiting on who's gonna advance from Group B to meet you for
Yeah,
that final world spot. And there's still some pretty impressive teams there. You have Unicorns of Love. You have PSG Talon are still in there.
yeah.
And the final team, it jumps my mind at the moment. Who's the final team in Group B?
LGD R7.
Rainbow Seven, obviously. Yeah, the LLA
Yep.
representatives who
Yep.
also, like massively showed up yesterday. So of these
Yep.
teams, is there any team you favor facing, or is there any team that you're, like maybe it's like, okay, please do not bring them us? Is there any team that you approach with that thought?
I think yeah, I think it's between R7 and LGD tomorrow for who we're going to play against.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I feel like obviously LGD were like favorites in that group, and I feel like they're still the strongest team. I don't know why they're looking. It's just best of one, so maybe they're just having some rough games or something's going wrong, or you know, I feel like in a best of 5 they would still be the strongest team. So I think we would prefer to face R7.
All right, man. Thank you so much for your time, and good luck in the rest of the tournament as well.
No worries. Thank you.